had to do the interest only option.
And what does that mean?
So for the first 5 years, it's an interest only payment.
Got you. So is that for if I do that option with the additional cash out?
Correct.
All right.
Correct. So, and I can't, yeah, so if you want to go with the original terms, we could just stay with the original terms.
Okay, so this term would be an interest only. So the first 5 years, that 2022 would be going only the interest.
Correct.
All right. And then the other one wasn't an interest only. That was why the interest. That's why the monthly payment was so low. I was wondering, it's like that doesn't make sense. If it's 425, it's the payment is basically the same it was for 385.
So, right. So, right, it's lower because it's the interest only, and then at year 6, it would change. I think it would go up a little bit.
Okay. What would it go up to? Just out of curiosity.
I want to say,
Do you have that projection to show?
I think I did. I send that to you?
No, it's just a term sheet.
It wasn't on the term sheet.
No, it just says what the rate would be. Um, it just says what the rate would be. It just says it's the 66,000 cash out, and then 2022 would be the PITI, principal, interest, taxes, insurance. I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Am I breaking up?
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find that for you. I want to say it was maybe 2,500, 2,600.
Yeah, if you can send that over, that'd be great. So let me tell you what I'm thinking, Celeste. So
Yeah.
I sent you another email yesterday, right?
Okay.
Would you guys be able to finance 13 different properties under one mortgage if it's being sold as a portfolio?
Yes, yep. We do blanket portfolios, mortgages all the time. We just what we need though is we need them to average 100,000 a door.
The
So
the actual properties.
right. So if the whole um if the whole loan is 1.3, or if it can cover each property, and they can come back appraised at 100,000. Well, they don't have to appraise at 100,000 each. We just have to have an average of 100,000 each.
Got you, got you. Okay, here's what
Is
I,
that
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 make.
you have?
So I sent you that one as an example because it was, I think, 13 properties going for 1.1 million. So I guess my first question would be, assuming I was to go in that direction, from your experience, generally how much of that is funded? Is it 80%? Is it 75%? Basically, how much would I have to come out of pocket?
It's usually 75%.
75%. Okay.
Yeah.
And then being that if they're already producing cash flow, would I have to show tax returns, or is it just because it's already the underlying assets already producing cash flow? We would just go through a similar process we went through just now.
That's it. Just asset focused. That's what we do.
Awesome.
We yeah, we just need your credit. We just need your credit,
Okay.
and you know, and we've already pulled your credit. So if we have to do it again, it's going to be a soft, because we just it's just us again.
Right.
So not hard every time.
So here's what I'm thinking, Celeste, to be fully transparent. So I did not anticipate the appraisal coming out that high. I
Isn't that nice?
That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. So what I'm thinking is either going with the original term, because I've got the cash anyways. So what I'm thinking is either refinancing at the same 335, so that
Okay.
way I have the difference between 335 and the appraisal in equity, or just doing the original term, which would be, I think, 385. It was 385. Then it was one for five. The appraisal you did initially was for 500K. The projection, then it was one for 513. So I can't find the one for 513, but I want to say the 513 got me $30,000 cash, if I'm not mistaken, and the monthly payments was right around $2,000 a month.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
I don't remember a 513, so
You did. I asked if we were to do a 513 appraisal. I mean, it was 513, but then the amount went up from 385 to something else, and that's
I
how. Go ahead.
for the loan amount of 375 right now.
Oh, it was three. Okay, the loan amount was 375 and one for 385.
And
So
then the value was 500, and I have an LTV of 75, interest rate 449, PITA 2065.
2065. We did do another one. I just can't find it. You emailed me when I said, well, what would it do if it was from 513,000? Because we were thinking the appraisal could be anywhere between 500K to 513. And then you sent me another email. I couldn't find it, but you sent me another email for 513, and it made the mortgage from 375 to 385.
Okay. I don't delete anything, which is hence why my computer is as slow as it is.
All right, so let me see if I can find it really quickly. But basically, even if it's at the 375, at the 375, it's principal and it's not an interest-only loan, right?
Correct. It is not. I will always tell you it's an interest-only loan.
Okay, so even at the 375, that will get me $20,000 cash now, and then the principal and interest would be 2065.
Correct.
How much would, I'm just curious, how much would it be if I just did 335 with no cash out at all? Could you send me that over?
Yes. You want to see the 335 loan amount?
Yeah, I want to see a 335 loan amount, because what I'm, in full transparency, considering doing is taking the difference in equity, which in this example is 335 minus 580, and leveraging that equity to buy another property and getting another mortgage through you guys. So that's really, and then because I was doing this cash out for my parents to help them renovate their food truck, but I'm just gonna give them the money myself. So
Okay.
so now I'm just like wondering, okay, well, if that appraisal was already there, and if I come back through you guys, you already have that as the appraisal, I would just want to potentially use that equity towards the down payment on another property. So that's what my thought process is at right now. So
Right. All right. We'll work on that. So you want to see the loan amount? You want to see this loan amount at 335 instead of 375? So.
well, 375. So there was one for 385 that got me 30 grand cash, but I don't remember where it's at. I'll just try to find it. Celeste, quick line. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. Updated loan terms. That was tomorrow. That was yesterday. Moving forward, August 17th. Moving forward. So there's one for 375 at a 449, and that puts us at 2065. I have that one.
85. Yeah, I see that one.
Did you see the one for 385?
I do.
How much was that one monthly?
2115.
2115. Okay, I probably won't do that. What was the interest rate?
449.
Okay, and then I guess for me, all I want to see is just what it would be at 335, so that way I can see what the monthly is, and either we're gonna, because just so I'm clear, and I want to make sure I'm understanding how this other part works. Let's just say I move forward with the 375 refinance.
Yeah.
2065. That means that we're doing it on a value of 500K, 80% LTV. So, huh?
Yeah, which is fine. That's no big deal.
So how much of the equity can I now use from another transaction going? I guess what I'm trying to figure out is how much of that equity can I use now if I have 580 towards the down payment of another property. Does that make sense?
So we have to. So we can't leverage just like it has to be like we have to see it. Like so, if you want, like you'd have to get the cash out. You know what I mean? So to use it, so total cash to borrower at closing, that 20,000 or that 30,000 or that 66,000, that's what we can put toward another property,
Got it.
right? So we can't use the equity that's just sitting there that we know is there. That if you decide to sell it, you're gonna get it. We can't use that.
Got it. So
Right.
so basically, if I did the refinance for 335 even, and then that still puts us at a positive equity between 335 and 580, I can't use that difference in the positive equity towards the purchase of another property.
Right, because because you're not getting any cash out,
Got you.
right? Because you're just basically refinancing at the payoff.
Right, and maybe it's just because of my own ignorance, but I was under the impression that if you have positive equity in another an existing property, you can leverage not the cash, but the equity itself as a down payment towards another property.
We don't typically do that. I mean, I haven't seen that done yet. I could definitely, speak to the underwriters and see what they have to say about that.
Yeah, I was talking with Chad briefly, and I've seen this done before. Even when I purchased another property, I saw on the actual mortgage application it says where you coming up with the funds for the down payment. It's a cash, family member, or equity from an existing property. So that went in the back of my head like, I can use equity from another property as a down payment for a new mortgage or new property. So that's really what I'm trying to gather here, because if that's the case, which I believe it is, if you can get the confirmation, I'd want to potentially leverage the equity from this transaction or this property, so to speak, as the down payment on another property. Instead of me having to come out of pocket personally, I'm just going to leverage the equity from this property to purchase another property.
Right, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get you the max cash out.
But what I'm saying is without the max, without the cash out.
Yeah, you just want to leave it there. So I'll see. I've never seen it done. But listen, that's definitely worth an ask.
Yeah, find that out because that's really what I'm trying to figure. That's really to determine the fact. But I still want you to send me over the rate for the 335, just so I can see what the monthly would be.
Okay.
And then let's just confirm. Hey, look, is it possible, not from a cash out, is it possible to leverage equity in an existing property as a down payment for a new property?
Okay. I will see what I can find out for you.
Okay, perfect.
And we will go from there. And I will let you know. And if you clear your voicemail box, I promise I'll leave a message.
Yeah, I don't check my voicemail. I don't even know why it's full, because even though I don't check it, I still keep it empty. But and email and text is better for me personally.
Email and texting? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Very good. Well, I will be in touch shortly.
Thank you so much, Celeste.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.